two options. Either pick it up and throw it away, or eat it. I personally would eat it, if there wasn't any hair on it, of course. And I know what most of you are thinking, that I could get sick from it. Well, I'm not sick yet, and maybe I'm healthier because of it. For many years, we've been told to keep a clean and pristine lifestyle. However, maybe this is hurting us instead of helping us. In order to understand the benefits of germs and how germs can play a role in our lives, we will go over what germs are, then the benefits of germs, and finally, how to live a healthy, germ-filled life. To begin, let's go over what germs actually are. According to a U.S. News article copyrighted April 21st, 2018, a germ is defined as a tiny microorganism, either a bacteria, fungi, virus, or protozoa that causes illness or disease. Well, now let's break down these types of germs, starting with bacteria. Bacteria is a tiny one-celled organism that gets its nutrients from its environment meaning our bodies. Bacteria cause a wide variety of illnesses and diseases, such as cavities, strep throat, and ear infections. Although bacteria seem like something you should stay away from, we actually have bacteria in our bodies, mostly in our digestive systems. These bacteria help our body keep our body going, and actually defend from bad bacteria. Weakened forms of bad bacteria are in vaccines and medications. How these work is once they enter our bodies would then fight off this weakened form of bad bacteria, and if it ever should arise again in the future, they would know how to fight it off again. Next is viruses. Viruses cannot grow, spread, or reproduce without a host. Once it does find a host, it doesn't live long, but it spreads rapidly. Viruses cause a wide variety of illnesses, from the common cold to HIV and AIDS. Next is fungi, which is a tiny, multi-celled plant-like organism that gets its nutrients from food, plants, and animals in warm, wet environments. Fungi usually cause fungal infections like athlete's foot. However, these are not dangerous to a healthy person. And finally, protozoa. Protozoa is a tiny one-celled organism that can actually move on its own. Protozoa cause usually intestinal infections and are spread by contaminated water. The one thing that's different with protozoa as opposed to all other types of germs is that they can actually live a long time without one single host. How all of these germs work is once they enter our body, they then draw out energy to weaken us. They will then kill off our healthy red blood cells and replace them with toxins. Some annoying toxin symptoms include sneezing, sniffling, and coughing. However, there are some more life-threatening symptoms like high blood pressure, high fever, and other life-threatening illnesses. If any of these should arise, you should seek medical help immediately. Although germs seem like something you should stay away from at all costs, the polar opposite, which is sterilization, is also quite dangerous as well. In fact, sterilization can actually weaken your immune system more, according to a study done by the University of Michigan. As you can see, germs are actually more than what meets the eye. Now that we know what germs are and the types of germs, let's go over the benefits of germs. According to a 2016 study done by Dennis Casper, he shows how microbes and good bacteria can actually help our immune systems. Casper took two groups of mice, one that was raised in a sterilized environment and another that was raised in an environment filled with microbes. The study found that the mice that were raised in the environment filled with microbes were far less susceptible to inflammatory diseases as opposed to the other group. They also found when placing an adult mouse that was raised in the sterilized environment into the environment filled with microbes, this did not help their immune system, as they had to be raised in the environment to help them. The study also supported the hygiene hypothesis, which states that autoimmune diseases are more common in developed countries like the US because of our high use of antibiotics and antibacterials. 2 years later, scientists did the same study, but this time it was on humans. Scientists took two Christian farming groups, the Amish and the Hutterites. The Amish use more modern-day farming tools and their hands, so in other words, they're not afraid to get dirty. And the Hutterites use more modern-day farming tools like we see around here. The study found that Amish children had far less prevalence to asthma as opposed to the other group. When taking children's blood, they found that the Amish children had far more white blood cells as opposed to the Hutterites. White blood cells are used to fight off infections and diseases. According to a health news article copyrighted December 21st, 2019, letting children play outside should be greatly encouraged. Not only does it expose themselves to microbes, but also increases their play levels. Also, exposing children to foods with bacteria such as yogurt, buttermilk, and cheeses not only gives them the bacteria that they need, but also lessens their chance of getting allergies to those foods later in life. So maybe rubbing a little dirt on it isn't so bad after all. Maybe it could actually help our immune systems. Now that we know what germs can do for us for good, how exactly do we let germs into our lives? Well, according to an April 16, 2018 NPR interview done with Dr. Jack Gilbert, a microbiologist, states that there are many ways to let germs into our lives. One big one is to get rid of or lessen the use of chlorine-based cleaners. These cleaners clean so well that they actually kill off good bacteria and microbes that we need. And as we learned earlier from the Dennis Casper study, this can actually weaken our immune system more. Another big one is to get rid of the use of antibacterial soaps. And I know these do look tempting on the store shelves, saying they kill 99.9% of germs, but then again, that's also the good bacteria and microbes they're killing off as well. Gilbert states that standard soap and water will do just fine, or if you want to be extra clean, lemon juice and water, as this kills off bad bacteria. Starting a garden, either big or small, is another great way to expose yourself to germs. Not only does it get your hands dirty, which adds more diversity into your body, but adds more fruits and vegetables into your diet, which increases your gut health. Getting a pet or letting children play with someone else's pet is another great way microbiologists say. Not only does it lessen children's chance of getting asthma, but also decreases their chance of getting allergies to that pet later in life. So if anybody in this room is trying to convince someone to get a pet, here's your chance. And finally, another actually quite simple way to expose yourself to germs is to be in closer contact with people. Unlike Europe and other parts of the world, the US is quite reserved with ourselves. So a simple hug or a kiss on the cheek exchanges each other's microbes and adds diversities into our body. As you can see, the steps to making ourselves healthier is quite small. However, the outcome is quite drastic. Today, we talked about what germs are and the types of germs, then the benefits of germs, and finally, how to live a healthy, germ-filled life. For many years, we have been told to keep a clean and pristine lifestyle. However, maybe this is hurting us instead of helping us. I know many of us strive to have a clean house, one with no speck of dirt. But I say keep that speck of dirt. Besides, what harm could it do? Maybe it could increase our immune systems. But please remember to wash your hands. We don't want to be that gross.